The Miami Heat have done it again. The 15th overall pick in this past year's draft, Kel'el Ware, is starting to make everyone believe he's going to be the cornerstone of this Miami Heat franchise for years to come. I'm here to break down a bunch of different quotes from Kel'el himself, as well as Bam Adebayo, head coach Erik Spoelstra, and Udonis Haslem, breaking down why they think this kid is so promising with potential. So let's not waste any time and get to it, breaking down all the news that would be unlocking undeniable potential in Kel'el Ware. Now, obviously, we know the Miami Heat selected Kel'el Ware this past draft at June 26th with the 15th overall pick, and we are so very lucky as we desperately needed help in the 4 and 5 department on this Miami Heat team. We desperately needed a real big man. Obviously, Bam Adebayo is one of the best in the entire league, but you've heard me say it time and time again. He's truly a 4. Obviously, he's played the majority of his career in the NBA for this Miami Heat team at the center position. But if we look back, there's a clear argument to be made that it's due to the lack of resources at the big man position, not being able to put him from the 5 back into his true spot of the 4. And now with Kel'el Ware, it seems like we're not only going to unlock a brand new young piece in Kel'el Ware, who's extremely promising for a load of reasons we're going to go through in this video, but as well as unlocking Bam Adebayo's potential. And what I mean by that, how could that possibly be? He's been in the running for MVPs as well as defensive player of the years. He's been a multiple time All-Star. He's leading for this Miami Heat team. Well, if we put him back at the 4, it takes off some of the responsibility on his end, especially on the defensive end. We've seen time and time again, exclusively and especially last season, when Bam Adebayo is the lone big man for this Miami Heat team, playing the center position. And because of that, when he has to step outside of the painted area and step away from the rim and not being able to protect it within an arm's reach, we see the Miami Heat get exposed in the painted area. And because of that, now with Kel'el Ware, the ability to play them alongside can allow Bam Adebayo to step outside the painted area from box to box and step outside the wing and really defend like the on-ball defender that he is, and he has the ability to do so. And I think this is really going to unlock a lot of Bam Adebayo as well as the entirety of Kel'el Ware. So let's stop rambling and let's get to the article we're going to start with, titled Udonis Haslem tells Bam Adebayo that Kel'el Ware is the Heat's best center. This is written by Jason Simpson on Heat Nation, so shout out to you. But again, if you guys haven't seen this clip, there's multiple different clips rolling all over X, Twitter, whatever you'd like to call it, but it is a clip of Bam Adebayo and Udonis Haslem sitting on the baseline watching an active play slash scrimmage going on for this Miami Heat team, where they're going through training camp, mini camp, practice, if you will, and Kel'el Ware is on the floor. He does a great move, and it results in a dunk for him and the Miami Heat, obviously. And Udonis Haslem, without skipping a beat, leans in to Bam Adebayo's chest, where he was being mic'd up at the time, and says, Kel'el Ware is our best center. He says he's the best center we have. And then Bam goes on to respond with this, just trying to tell him to be patient, take his time in training camp. It's a lot. Tell him to figure it out as you go. Now, that wasn't the only thing Bam said. Now, in immediate response to what Udonis Haslem had said, Bam responded with, you right. And again, this is exactly what we want to see. And again, that's when Udonis Haslem then responds with, Kel'el is the best center we have. And again, that's the end of the quote from Udonis Haslem. But again, if we're going to get massive quotes and react to these quotes from specific people, Udonis Haslem having a conversation with Bam Adebayo, despite being obviously a handful of words long. This is what we want to hear. This is what we want to see. And these are the people we want to focus on, because obviously Udonis Haslem, I don't even have to go through that resume. Played in the league for 20 plus years, exclusively on the Miami Heat for this Miami Heat organization. He played the power forward at a different time. It was just a different frame of basketball that he was playing in. Again, he's someone you want to be behind. He's someone you want to lead you, whether it be on the floor or off the floor. I can't wait to watch as Udonis Haslem has the ability to really mold and really just allow the growth to really go off for Kel'el Ware, with Bam Adebayo on the court next to him, really preaching Udonis Haslem's message that Bam has already been able to learn year after year. I think this is just a perfect equation, not only for the Miami Heat, but specifically for Kel'el Ware and Bam Adebayo, with the luxury of the people they have to learn from and just the experiences they are going to have at their disposal is going to be absolutely massive. Now, This is what we like to see, as well as, again, we'll go back to this last quote from Bam Adebayo as he says, just trying to tell him to be patient, take his time. In training camp, it's a lot. Tell him to figure it out as you go. Again, Bam Adebayo is not forcing things onto Kel'el Ware. Kel'el Ware, trying to make sure that he's up to date on everything in a short period of time, making sure there's no rush, there's no pushing of Kel'el Ware into the moment. Allow him to learn and train as he goes. He's going to pick it up because he's going to be in and around this Miami Heat organization day after day. And again, with more experience, he'll gain more knowledge, and that is what we need to see. So don't freak out if we don't see Game 1 of 82 with Kel'el starting at the center and Bam starting at the power forward. Let time go. Let Kel'el Ware really mold himself into an NBA player, playing with and behind these guys on this Miami Heat team before we jump the gun and look for these guys to start. Now we're going to go back to this article, again written by Jason Simpson on Heat Nation, as he goes on to quote a few things from Ware as well as Bam Adebayo. Now this quote is from Kel'el Ware as he goes on to say, me and Bam can definitely play beside each other because we complement each other so well said Ware, excuse me. His position is really the 4, and so me coming in at the 5-man, I can protect the paint and just being able to do what I always do. And that is the end of the quote from Kel'el Ware. And again, this is massive. This is what we referred to earlier. Kel'el Ware being able to be that defensive anchor that we saw in the NBA Summer League, where he was blocking many shots, and even in the NBA preseason, we're now 3 games into it. This is what we want to see. Kel'el Ware is not only going to be an option on the offensive end for many reasons we'll get to in just a minute, but again, on the defensive end, he is going to actually be an anchor. I know Bam has been an anchor, and again, all the weight has been on Bam Adebayo, and we addressed how this could really be a boost to Bam in the defensive abilities we see from the Miami Heat when we have Kel'el and Bam on the floor at the same time, or being able to take Bam Adebayo off the floor and replace him with someone like Kel'el Ware. I think this is going to be absolutely massive. Now, the quotes don't end there, as we have some justification from a very, very good source in Udonis Haslem, as Simpson goes on to say, months ago, Haslem spoke about the idea of Adebayo playing at power forward, saying, and I quote, I think Bam can play the 4, power forward, and move around a little bit, Haslem said in May. He goes on to say, and I quote, if we get a center, maybe in the draft or through free agency, then we can move Bam to the 4. And that's the end of the quote. Again, maybe in the draft. Obviously, this quote came back in May, way before the NBA draft took place on June 26th and June 27th, where we drafted Kel'el Ware, again, with that 15th overall pick. This is massive. If Haslem has this idea and he's thinking it, he's on the coaching staff now, technically. Obviously, we don't really think of him as a coach, someone with the label of an actual coach for a job description, because it's something he's been doing forever at this point, basically my entire lifetime, 22 plus years at this point. So this is very, very fun to see. If he's thinking this, I'm thinking he's having conversations with people like Coach Erik Spoelstra and people like President Pat Riley. I think this is huge. I really, really think that they're going to give a little bit of an ear to Udonis Haslem and just be open-minded to the idea that he has and that he presents to him. Now, the last few things we're going to highlight, again, another quote from Coach Erik Spoelstra, as he goes, Spo on Kel'el Ware. And this is a quote, again, from Coach Erik Spoelstra. He goes on to say, every morning I would get up and get the Summer League games set up on my laptop, and I started watching it every morning, and then the whole staff started, like looking over my shoulder, watching. He was a talent, level, size, touch, and a knack for rebounding that's just unique. And that's the end of the quote from head coach Erik Spoelstra. And again, he sees the potential. He sees the upside. He sees the promising things that he has in the bag and that he can possibly produce for this Miami Heat team at a very efficient rate. Now, we've talked about the ability to defend. His ability to rebound is going to happen naturally. Again, with the size, with the frame, with the game that he plays, being near the block, both on the offense and the defensive end, his ability to rebound is going to be constant and frequent, and I think it's going to be a great for the Miami Heat. Now, the last thing we haven't addressed is the offensive end. How is this going to unlock his potential playing with this Miami Heat team on the offensive end? How is it going to unlock Bam, and how is Bam going to unlock Kel'el Ware? Well, there's a few things. The first thing is the fact that he's a lob threat at all times, and you've heard me say this over and over and over again. Anytime we talk about Kel'el Ware on this channel, we say the same thing. I say the same thing. He will be a lob threat every single time the Miami Heat players have the ball inside of the opposite free throw line. Yes, I'm thinking Dwayne Wade, LeBron James type stuff where we're throwing lobs 3/4 court and it's resulting in an easy 2 points, an easy dunk for Kel'el Ware. Now, the reason I say this is because obviously we've had this conversation before, but shout out to Tobin on Twitter as he cites Pella Larrson after a game where he goes, Pella Larrson talks his lob to Kel'el Ware. He says, I'm always happy to throw him a lob because I can throw it wherever. I don't really need to try. Now, this is a quote from Pella Larrson after a preseason game where he threw Kel'el Ware a lob in that game. And again, just wait till we're running screen and rolls for Kel'el Ware, and we're being able to play him alongside Bam Adebayo and in the starting lineup with Terry Rozier and Tyler Hero and Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo, and having him round out the five. It is going to be a massive ability for this Miami Heat team. And the last thing for the offensive ability that we're going to highlight for Kel'el Ware in this Miami Heat team is another thing that I've mentioned in the past, and I can't wait to continue to be able to say, thank God the Miami Heat are doing this. I'm happy that I'm right. I know that sounds crazy, but again, this is going to unlock the Miami Heat's abilities a bunch, and not only just them, but specifically the Miami Heat with Bam Adebayo and Kel'el Ware playing alongside one another. Here's a clip. Now, I know it's short. I know it's short-lived. I know. But let's take it. We understand that it is there. The potential is there. The ability to have one set the screen for the other due to Bam's ability to handle the basketball and really facilitate it at a high level for a power forward / a center. It is going to be unguardable because if you don't jump on Bam and if you don't jump on Bam, you stay with Kel'el, you're going to have Bam Adebayo running off a screen. He's going to have a step on already a larger defender because usually 4 and 5s are matching up with him. And if it's a smaller defender and he gets a step on him, that's an easy 2 points, probably plus a foul. But what happens when you do jump on Bam and you try to take away the pass? Because he's throwing to a 7-foot plus target and Bam Adebayo's damn near 7 foot himself, the ability to just drop it in the bucket to Kel'el and have him catch, turn without putting the ball down, and then dunking or laying the ball up is going to be unguardable, and it's probably going to lead to a bunch of free throw opportunities to a Miami Heat team that did a very good job at shooting free throws last season. I can't wait to watch how this unlocks this entire Miami Heat team. Please let me know down in the comments what you guys think about it, and I will see you guys on the next episode of Heat Digest.